Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Nothing again this weekend is going on, but this is, again...
Everything's happening next weekend, or next week.
Before the storm. Once Monday arrives, it's full steam ahead. Little note here. On Tuesday, at some point, I don't know exactly if he's going to do this live. He didn't mention, or if this is going to be a recorded thing, so I'm not sure if you guys watch this live. But we're going to be on Fightful with Sean Ross.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Do our WrestleMania predictions. I don't think they do confidence points over there.
No, these won't be our official WrestleMania predictions for Big Red, because there's no confidence points involved.
Confidence points.
Consider them our preliminary.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We'll do our real ones next Friday after SmackDown. Even though Friday SmackDown is going to be the pre-show, so we could probably do them earlier in the week.
Oh, I'm fine doing them earlier in the week. I'm totally cool with that. And by Tuesday, I'll probably know. Yeah, because Friday, basically. So if you guys didn't watch our news brief today, Adam Pearce announced yesterday that SmackDown this coming Friday, and of course they were talking about it endlessly on Tonight's show, is going to basically be, they didn't say this, but they did say it's a special SmackDown, WrestleMania SmackDown, which just means they're doing the stuff they usually do on the kickoff show, they're doing on SmackDown.
Well, in terms of the in-ring stuff. Because there's still a WrestleMania kickoff show on Saturday.
Stuff, yeah.
They're just apparently not going to have any matches during that, because when Hogan makes his entrance during the main card night one, they want that to be a huge deal.
They want the big thing to be. That
first entrance, which will probably be Hogan.
Which is you're not going to do on the kickoff show. Which you're right, it's totally 1,000% going to be Hogan. I think doing our predictions early would probably be a good move. So yeah, join us with Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp on Tuesday. We're going to be giving you our preliminary WrestleMania predictions. I would think by that time, Raw's done with. I'll have my stuff ready to go. It's just going to be a matter of when we do ours on this channel, it's going to be confidence points. So That's when the real, and then Enforcer's going to be doing his as well with us.
Yep.
So there you go. So tonight, given what we've said about next week's SmackDown, tonight was basically the go home to WrestleMania. It definitely felt like it, because the guy who's going to lose in the main event, Daniel Bryan, is the guy who totally stood tall over both the other competitors at WrestleMania. The big question there would be, which one of these guys are you still leaning towards Edge with coming out on top at WrestleMania? Did anything tonight inform your decision any more on that?
It informs me that I really want Daniel Bryan to win, because he's the most interesting aspect of this whole feud.
Yeah, 1,000%. I agree with that.
And prior to him being injected into it, this feud was stale. It was boring. He's made it interesting. He's brought life to it. I want him to win. I know he's not going to. I really want him, though, to, because I mentioned this earlier. There's pretty much 3 performers right now in SmackDown that makes the show interesting for me. It's Daniel Bryan, it's Sami Zayn, it's Bianca Belair. I kind of feel like, other people are doing good work. Like, I think Big E's been doing good work. Those commercials he had on tonight were hilarious. But I feel like those 3 have been the standouts for the last couple months. And they are the ones seemingly injecting vitality and energy into the stories they're involved in, which otherwise could be just kind of blah, mediocre, and they're the ones who are really keeping it going.
Man, I really want Daniel Bryan to win this thing. And here's the thing, regardless of what I want or care about or what you want or care about, the fans are going to be popping for him the most. And I don't think it's going to be, regardless, I don't think it's going to be a disappointing ending necessarily. I think that they're going to have just an absolutely killer match. I'm still leaning towards Roman for no particular reason other than Edge has been putting in a lot of TV time, and I don't necessarily think that that's going to continue because of the nature of his contract. And so I just don't really, I mean, I know Brock did it, but
hey, he said when he's involved and he's in the storyline, he's not going to be there for, he's not going to be there every once in a while. He's in it for the long haul, he said.
Which is why he's been in this storyline for a long time. And his contract is, I would think, probably going to preclude him from being in the long run halt, the full-time schedule for a while longer. That's just pure speculation.
No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. It's something to consider, that's for sure.
So I mean, I'm leaning towards Roman coming out of that, but looking like $1 million. But man, if Daniel Bryan, I'm going to be rooting for Daniel Bryan. And here's the thing, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this, and I don't know. I haven't looked at the whole match card yet, so I'm not, or the lineup yet, to look at where my confidence points are going to go. But I know that's not going to be a high confidence point one. So yeah, but no, I mean, tonight had some other go home sort of elements to it, I guess.
Well, for sure, with regards to the SmackDown tag title scene, because this was, absolutely the go home for that.
Yeah,
because that's gonna be at SmackDown next week. But let's jump ahead a little bit. Let's talk about the Sami Zayn segment. I think that was the highlight of the show, apart from Daniel Bryan doling out all sorts of violence at the end.
It was Sami,
which was great.
It was totally the highlight of the show.
Sami was great. The trailer for his documentary, which I was totally expecting to either be interrupted by Kevin Owens, or for him to go to the truck and put in some other footage of him stunning Sami or something like that. We actually got the trailer for this,
or something.
Yeah, we actually got the trailer for this documentary, and it was hilarious.
It was great,
absolutely
man.
Hilarious.
It had actual zebras in it. I swear,
it had stock footage of UFOs and other conspiracies. There was a reference to flat Earth.
Yeah, there was a visual of flat Earth. It had everything in it, man. Dude, I don't know what this is from or where they got it from or what the deal was, but I swear I saw a shot in there of him just staring at garbage bags.
That sounds familiar.
It was brilliant.
I noticed that too.
And as much as I can't stand Logan Paul, I thought he did his job well.
Yeah.
He played, the guy who was number one. The dude has. I mean, I understand why he's beyond the stunt stuff that he does. I understand why. He does have quite a bit of camera charisma. Logan Paul does. I understand why he's so popular. But even if he's a jackass, but he played his role really well tonight.
He did.
And it'll be interesting to see how he factors in come WrestleMania, given that Kevin Owens sort of shoved him aside.
Yeah, I mean, before that, I would assume Logan Paul would do something to cost Sami the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But based on the shove, Logan Paul is a bit of a boxer himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he has a fight against. Is he the one that's fighting Mayweather? Or is that his brother?
No, isn't it him? I think he's the boxer.
I thought it was him.
I think he's the boxer.
I think they both are.
Are they both boxers?
I thought so.
Who fought Nate Robinson? Was it him? I think he's the main guy.
Maybe. What's his brother's name?
Jake. I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Rand? No,
Jake is right. Rand Paul.
No, he boxed his neighbor, got his ass kicked.
That's right.
Apparently Ryan Coates says they both box. Who fought Nate Robinson?
I'm looking that up right now. That was Jake Paul.
Jake? Oh, wrong guy. Okay. Anyways, whatever.
Whatever. Yes, that segment was great.
It was great. Sami can. Alex C made this point. I completely agreed and noticed it when it was happening. That dude knows how to sweat. Let me get my camera back. He knows how to get the sweat going.
Well, I'm sure it helped him too when he was doing all that dancing during Logan Paul's entrance.
Oh my God. And you go back and you look at all the old gifs from PWG, the Generico dancing stuff. Why doesn't he needs to do this stuff more? It's great. I mean, he used to dance during his entrance also when he was a good guy, and then a little bit when he was a bad guy. But yeah, to see him dancing to Logan Paul's music was
great.
Hilarious.
He had a great suit on. Trailer was great. The whole segment was great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Great.
It was pretty terrific. So let's just dive into it, and if we come upon any revelations, we'll just we'll stumble upon them.
I'm just looking at the notes for this Edge promo because it was good, but it was just really long.
All right, I'll hop into it then. So Edge comes down. He says this didn't need all the chaos from last week didn't need to happen, or the week before didn't need to happen, or maybe it did. Maybe it was inevitable. Maybe I was naive thinking there would be no speed bumps on the road to WrestleMania, or should I say roadkill? Because it says here Braun, because that's what Bryan has done. Everybody got my Steve notes like Braun was in this episode? Because that's what Bryan has done by weaseling his way into my WrestleMania match. I figured he'd understand when I told him he was one of the reasons for my comeback. The idea of teaming with him at Fastlane was exciting for me, but that wasn't enough for him. I was so focused on Roman, I didn't see him coming. If anyone should see an opportunist coming, it's me. Bryan came up with all sorts of different scenarios to get him into this title match, but after Pierce's decision to make it a triple threat, I realized old Edge got outplayed. But I have to thank him because it made me look in the mirror and I finally liked what I saw. I saw the guy who, when he's backed into the corner, comes out fighting, does whatever he has to do to get done. I looked in the mirror and I saw rated R superstar live sex show Edge. While we're here, put up that graphic for our match. He's like, oh, yeah, look at that, triple threat. Way to go, Adam Pearce. He says, I finally woke up. I am a man that Roman aspires to be. I'm a man that Daniel Bryan aspires to be. I am a legend, the ultimate opportunist. And last week when I hit you with chairs, it felt so good, and I was this close to getting a concerto. It's going to happen again. And when it does, I won't hesitate.
I believe this is the first time they've introduced him. The ring announcer introduced him as the rated R superstar Edge, right? Since he's come back.
I don't know, but that's possible.
I noticed they said that. I don't know if it's the first time, but it was noticeable. Anyways, after that, we go to commercial. We come back. More Edge with the interview backstage. He's asked why he didn't address the street fight tonight. Is Jey in there to take Daniel Bryan out? Edge pretty much says, I wouldn't feel bad if Daniel Bryan was beat senseless tonight, nor would I feel bad if Daniel Bryan didn't make it to WrestleMania.
Right. After that, we had an Alpha Academy promo, and Chad Gable says, look at Otis, my number one guy. He says, I've transformed him into a force of nature. I unleashed his inner alpha. He says, we're peaking at the right time, and when we peak hard. Next week on the Mania Kickoff SmackDown show, we'll win for the Academy.
Yep. And then we're going to have Alpha Academy teaming with the tag champions, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, against Rey and Dom Mysterio and the Street Profits. Everybody got a promo today, though. Roode and Dolph, you get a promo. They talk about defending their titles next week. Other teams aren't on level. But Bob Roode said tonight they're going to get the job done. Dom and Rey. Dom says sharing the ring with his dad. It's been a dream since a kid. Rey said, yeah, I'm really proud. I'll be prouder yet when we were tag team champions. Street Profits promo. It's take back season that's upon us. This week's pregame. They want the smoke.
We want smoke. So yeah, this was a really fun match. The Mystery Profits versus the Alpha Dogs. And so the finish saw Montez.
Mystery Profits versus the Alpha Dogs.
You like that? No, that's a bad joke. Finish saw Montez miss his frog splash. Gable hits his German suplex Otis splash combo to get 3. They win. That kind of, it's either going to be the Profits or it's going to be the Mysterios. I kind of feel like it's going to be Team Mystery, right?
See, I would think that.
Okay.
Except, I can't remember who it was. I saw it on Twitter. Someone said, it's too bad this match isn't on the Mania card because if the Mysterios win, that'd be a pretty huge Mania moment. You got Rey, you got Dominic, father and son. First time a father and son, at least WWE, have been tag champions. That's kind of that's a deal.
That's a good point.
That's a deal.
That's a good point. Yeah.
The fact that match gets booted to SmackDown, preceding SmackDown, makes me feel the Mysterios aren't going to win. And Alpha Academy seem like they're out of the equation because they won tonight. So either Dirty Dogs retain or Street Profits getting those belts back.
I wonder if it depends on how much they put into next week's SmackDown. Like if they make it feel like a big deal.
Here's the thing. Unless it's at Raymond James Stadium, it's not going to feel like WrestleMania, man.
No, I know. But you know Vince. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that is a good point, but I also kind of feel like it's not. It's a good way to hype WrestleMania, maybe. Have a big moment like that. But, I mean, it's a solid point.
It is a good point. I hadn't thought about that until I read that. I was like, oh, that's a good point. Apologies, I can't credit whoever posted that. Next, we get Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville backstage. They're chatting. Heyman walks in, and he says, Roman asked me to come in with talk about a small legality. Essentially, he wants a hold harmless agreement for Jey Uso tonight for a street fight against Daniel Bryan. Waive all liability. Anything goes. Pearce is interrupting, about to seemingly tell Heyman no. Sonya Deville, though, says, I think you made a very good point, Paul.
She is totally replacing Adam Pearce at some point.
Ooh, yes.
After that, all right, man. Let's talk about Seth Rollins' suit.
Oh, spectacular.
Just absolutely, what is that, it was like lavender?
It's various shades of purple, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like a tie-dye.
Like a tie-dye. Really. It was kind of tie. Yeah, it was like
it was like
a dye, yeah.
Quite. Yeah, maybe it's like a dip dye thing, but very sparse.
Right.
I don't know.
And then like a lavender shirt underneath. Lavender.
And like a really soft pastel lavender tie as well. Yeah, it was really good.
Goodness.
Yeah, his suit game's off the charts, man.
It is. Then he's in there with two other handsome men, Corey Graves, who, man, it's funny when I look at him in there with Seth Rollins and Cesaro. I mean, I never really got into his matches in NXT. Like, I went back and looked at some of the NXTs a while ago, and I was like, yeah, I don't really know if Corey could have been like, but just based off of his look alone and his charisma, Corey Graves,
his mic skills too,
and his mic skills, he could have gone far. Like at that point, you don't need to be a good wrestler, even if he is. You don't need to be.
You have to be. I think you have to be a competent wrestler,
like a Killer Cross. Anyway,
well, here's the thing that Killer Cross, the advantage he has, is that he's huge.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Corey's not a small guy though.
He's tall, but he's not
up there with. Yeah, that's what he might have been though. Like if he kept on going,
maybe.
Anyways, so they're in there, and the first question I think goes to Cesaro.
Correct.
It's basically, is this like, because this is Cesaro's first singles match at WrestleMania.
That Mania, yeah.
And he says, this is a breakthrough for you, Cesaro, first singles match at Mania. He's like, you know what? I can't fail. I won't fail. He's like, there's something different in the air. Swing is in the air. Seth says, you know what? Enough of this. You got to bring the conversation back to old Seth. And he's like, just look at my WrestleMania moments. And he starts listing off classic WrestleMania moments, and he compares them with his own big WrestleMania moments, which are actually pretty impressive. And of course, he compares Hogan versus Andre to the great heist of the century.
Yeah, him cashing in Money in the Bank. Yeah,
right. And so he says they compare. Yeah, he says Cesaro then says he can embarrass Seth at WrestleMania. Cesaro says he may be unshakable, but he's not unswingable. Seth gets mad and he says, you know what, there's a lot of levels to this game. You're down here and I'm up here, and at Mania, I'm going to embarrass you so bad you won't have your potential to fall back on. Seth wants to fight now. Cesaro says, fine, take a swing. Seth backs up and walks away. This wasn't the most effective segment in the world. It didn't make use of what Cesaro is good at, and it sort of illustrated what he's not great at. So, I mean, the one thing about Cesaro is that he's got everything except, in my opinion, and this is something that I've heard in other places too, and I kind of agree, his ability to actually connect on the mic. I feel like he has connected with fans in every way that really matters, but when he has to get on the mic, it's not his strong suit.
Or at least how WWE handles promo stuff.
That's a good point.
He was good on Talking Smack. He had that great bit on Talking Smack.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good point.
He's good on Up, Up, Down, Down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In that environment, the way they handle those segments, it's not the best suit for him. So this segment sort of fell flat. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins was last year, and Kevin Owens got his big WrestleMania moment. Is Seth on a tour of Manias putting people over that need the big moments? Is that that's got to happen here, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Cesaro needs this. Seth, he could take this loss. Doesn't matter. Cesaro needs this.
Yeah, I agree totally. Whether or not Vince reverts to, but it's Seth Rollins. He's like one of my A players. I can't have him lose again at Mania. That sort of is going to bring my confidence points down on this.
You know what, though? You look at some really high-profile superstars' records at WrestleMania.
Triple H.
I don't know if he really thinks of it. Randy Orton apparently has a really bad WrestleMania record, too.
Oh, does he?
So, yeah, I just read that today.
That's funny.
So I don't know if Vince really considers overall WrestleMania record outside of Undertaker.
It's a good point.
When booking these shows. We get a quick bit where Nia and Shayna are walking backstage. They pass Carmella. Nia gives her some crap. Then we get a match between Shayna Baszler and Natalya. What is this with Shayna Baszler constantly getting
This
rolled
was
up?
the stupidest match I have seen in recently. This was terrible. It wasn't even like a surprise roll up. It was like they get into like
They
a
were trading roll-ups.
They were trading roll-ups. And it was so slow. And then they get to the last one and they just sit there and then that's it. And then it's 3. That was terrible.
And it was not good. It was not good. And so from that point, basically all the other women's or tag team in the women's tag division hit the ring. Brawling breaks out all over the place. In the end, Natalya and Tamina, they stand tall. So you'd think they got to be some sort of match involving all these teams. Maybe. I mean, I don't know if there's space on the Mania cards for some sort of. How many teams would there be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I counting right there? So it's Shayna and Nia, Natalya and Tamina, Lana and Naomi, Riot Squad. So 4 teams. Sorry.
Did you get Mandy and Dana?
Oh, so 5.
And
5
then
teams.
Carmella was asking for Billy's headshot, which could make it
so
another
potentially 6.
I mean,
So I mean, is this something else they're going to put on
kickoff night 2 or
WrestleMania SmackDown next week?
Or that one or kickoff night 2 maybe.
Night 2, yeah.
That's definitely a possibility. In which case, I kind of like the dark horse Carmella Billy Kay, as a possibility. But I'll be surprised if anybody beats Shayna and Nia at this point. But dude, see, here's the thing.
I don't know. It seemed like you roll up Shayna. That's an easy W.
This is what bugs me about this. Nothing here would be different. Nothing here would be different if Shayna was the one to get the roll up win.
I know.
I don't know what the point is of having her lose every single time.
I don't know.
It's Shayna Baszler. It's weird to me. But then Aleister Black also hasn't been on TV for very long.
He was stuck in a room for a year, man.
Backstage, Sami has his red carpet out, and the limo rolls up, and sure enough, Logan Paul gets out. When we're back from break, Sami's in the ring, puts over his trailer as exposing the truth of the conspiracy. Then he intros Logan Paul. They cut back to Sami doing some flipping.
Oh, the dancing was great.
The dancing was great. So,
gosh darn it, that was so awesome.
Sami's in there. He says, "You know what, Logan? Thank you so much for standing with the oppressed. You being here will show everyone, all of your followers in the whole world, that this is a conspiracy, not a conspiracy theory, and they'll have to accept this as truth."
Hold on, I'm going to interrupt 1 second. White Brownie here in chat says Shayna has now lost 8 straight single matches. Yeah, let's continue.
That's dumb. She needs to go on dark. She needs to go on dark and roll up and get some victories.
So Dale Cooper says it's a 4-way number 1 contenders match next SmackDown. So there you go.
Okay.
We have our answer.
Okay. All right, there you go. So then he says, Logan says, "Hey man, I'm happy to be here. Based on what you told me, this could be the biggest conspiracy ever. I'm excited to see the evidence that you present me." Sami asks him formally to be his guest at WrestleMania. Logan says, "Yes, it'll be a pleasure." And then Sami sort of intros the trailer. And like we said before, it's a hilarious mess.
Oh, it's great.
Talking about referees making him scared of zebras now.
So good.
It's all over the place. There's when he talks about conspiracy stuff, there's like cheesy stock footage of, like you said, like bad CG UFOs, flat Earth.
So good. So good. So good. And there's that bit where Sami goes, "Flat Earth, you don't think this has anything to do with it? Does it?
Does it? And then you see the flat Earth. So anyways, it's a mess. And afterwards, Sami's like, "Bravo, bravo." And it's like, "Logan, let me get your thoughts." And Logan says, "Well, it's a lot to take in. It's compelling, but when you're in the locker room, or when we were in the locker room, Kevin Owens approached me, and he said he's known you for 15 years. There's no conspiracy, and you're delusional and neurotic." And Sami goes off, says, "You're my guest there. You're supposed to be You're supposed to be here to help me." Then he calms down a bit, says, "You know what? I don't care what Kevin Owens thinks. What does Logan Paul think?" Paul just, you put a lot of effort into it. And then out of nowhere, Kevin Owens shows up, stuns Sami, and starts yelling at him. "If you keep up with this crap, I'm going to keep on doing this." And then he walks past Paul, pushes him aside, and Paul gets this look on his face like, "Whoa, buddy. What did I do? Yeah.
Yep. Next, we get Sonya and Adam Pearce backstage again. Edge walks in, and he says, "Hey, Pearce, you got a knack for making matches. You made a huge mistake making my Mania match, triple threat. But the street fight tonight, great idea. I'm going to go out there and do commentary for it."
Mm-hmm.
We get a Kevin Owens interview after that. He said he stunned Sami because he's trying to send him a message, not just for him, for anyone around WWE that thinks he can't stun anybody at any time. That Sami lays him out from behind, tosses him to a stack of pipes, tells him, "You ruined everything. I'll see you at Mania."
Mm-hmm. After that, we had Carmella versus Bianca Belair. Bianca had an interview right before. Talked about Sasha Banks. Says, after I smacked the soul out of her body, the real Sasha Banks showed up. Ruthless, unapologetic. But that's okay because that's who I want to face at Mania. She says, but I haven't forgot about Carmella. She's the reason Reginald got into our business. She said, I'm not looking past Carmella. I'm looking right through her to get to WrestleMania. Then we had that match. Before the bell rang, Carmella had a cheap shot on the outside. Mm-hmm. During the commercial break, the match actually started. Belair gets the advantage. Carmella had the advantage. Bianca gets it back with a big clothesline out of the corner. After she really explodes when Carmella tries to use her hair against her. And then Belair ends up picking up the win with the KOD.
Yeah, that finish was pretty cool. Carmella tried for a kick, and Bianca caught it and just like seamlessly bang right into a KOD.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
It was pretty cool. So afterwards, Sasha hits the ring, looks for a backstabber. Bianca escapes that and tells Sasha, we're waiting until WrestleMania. And Sasha just goes, all right. Okay, we'll wait.
Okay.
And she just leaves the ring.
Yeah.
So announced for next week on SmackDown, we got, of course, SmackDown WrestleMania SmackDown. So the Fatal 4-Way for the tag titles onto the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And they announced next Monday on Raw, we're getting Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin. So then we got a Baron promo where he talks about he's tired of the disrespect he's been shown on SmackDown. He's a king. He demands respect. And when he heard about Lashley's offer, he took a look at his really expensive watch and said, my time is now. He says after he takes out Drew, he'll go to Mania or be forced to respect and bow down to their king. So they're still going with this king nonsense.
He was wearing a suit, though. He wasn't wearing the crown. Maybe they're just sort of, it's a soft rebrand. After that, we had an Apollo Crews promo, and he has had this match changed into a Nigerian drum fight, which is basically a fancy way of calling it a no DQ match, is what I understand.
Same.
So that's going to happen. Still not sure 100% on that one. I'm pretty sure Big E's going to retain, but
I'm pretty sure too.
Changing it to a no DQ match, I don't know. Backstage, we have Edge runs into Paul Heyman, or Heyman runs up on him, and he says, we see this the same way, right? It should have been you versus Roman one-on-one. Then that little bastard, Daniel Bryan, made it a triple threat, making it mathematically worse for both you and Roman. Edge cuts him off and says, look, man, whatever, I'm going to commentary now.
Yeah.
And then we had our street fight main event.
Ain't having it. Yeah, Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan, of course. Edge's on commentary. Early on, before commercial break, Daniel Bryan goes for a suicide dive. Jey Uso, who had gotten a chair earlier, gets it up. Daniel Bryan dives in the chair. Jey then there's a little bit more before the commercial break. Jey takes a chair to him, wraps the chair around his ankle, goes up top, looking for a splash. Daniel Bryan avoids it. He takes the chair to Jey. Jey rolls out of the ring. And Roman comes out on the ramp, takes a seat in a chair, an office chair that Heyman provided for him. Then we go to commercial. Come back from commercial. Daniel Bryan goes for a corner drop kick, ends up running into a super kick. Jey sets up a chair in the corner, tosses Bryan into it. And then Jey gets a chain, and he clobbers Daniel Bryan a couple times with it. Goes for a cover. Daniel Bryan kicks out. Jey pushes Bryan to the floor, sends him into the ring steps. He takes the top layer of the ring steps off, looks for a suplex off the bottom layer to the floor. Daniel Bryan reverses that to suplex of his own. He gets the chair, clobbers Jey with it in front of Edge, slams Jey's head to the hood of the announce table. This whole time he's staring at Edge while he's doing all this. Mm-hmm. Puts Jey back in the ring, goes up top, hits the missile drop kick, follows with some yes kicks, picks up the chain, wraps it around his arm and drops some 12-6 elbows on Jey with the chain around it, and then sinks in a yes lock Jey taps. As soon as that bell rings, Daniel Bryan is out of the ring and dropping Edge with a D+ on commentary.
Yeah, commentary started to ask Edge a question, and as he started to answer, you see Bryan just fly into frame and lay out.
It was great.
Edge.
And so he starts ramming Edge's head into the ring post several times, turns his attention to Roman. He goes up the ramp. Roman gets up, chucks his office chair at him. Daniel Bryan dodges, hits Roman with a D+, puts the yes lock on Roman. Roman starts to pass out. Adam Pearce, Jamie Noble, some of the refs come out to break it up. Daniel Bryan stands on the turnbuckle doing some yesing.
Man, is there any chance we get a WrestleMania 30 redo?
I'd be awfully surprised.
Same. My God, how amazing would that be?
Pretty damn amazing.
Crowd of 25,000 people just screaming in each other's mouths would be awesome.
All saying yes, yes,
yes, yes,
yes, yes,
yes, yes. Oh man! All right. I was seeing this in our mod chat. New Japan Pro Wrestling.
They have a new belt now.
Showing off the strong title. I figured it'd be the United States title. They should have just made it the U.S. title.
I mean, it's just a problem because Mox can't defend. He can't be on TV on a regular basis for him.
Take that title off Mox then.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do that with a match against Kento. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Mike Lucas asked, are your confidence points for Mania based on total number for both nights or each night? Total for both.
Total for both. We're acting like it's one big thing.
One huge card. That's what we do for Wrestle Kingdom. That's what we did for Mania last year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am looking for my Patreon thread here. Oh, here we go. White Brownie. This is actually from the Twitch while I'm loading this up. Says, do you guys expect both women's titles matches to ending clean? I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Mm-hmm. I expect a KOD, maybe even two. And I expect maybe even two... what does Rhea Ripley call her finish?
Riptide?
Yeah, two Riptides, maybe.
Could be. Or one from the top. Broken Wheelchair. I think Media Player made the same design when I listened to CDs in the early 2000s that Rollins suit had on it.
Remember that? When like you'd have the screen of like all crazy stuff. Oh, man, those were the days.
Yep.
Those were the days. Like, oh, look at all this music I got off of LimeWire. Pretty sure there's a statute of limitations on that. Cameron Bortolazzo asks, since NXT TakeOver's stand and deliver is 2 nights, does that mean one night is stand and the other is deliver? Why did I read that question? I got tricked into reading a bad joke. Good one, Cameron. Good one.
Jorge D. Vince is looking to replace SmackDown wrestlers he is angry at with NWO versions. He sees going in Raw wrestler impressions and loves them. Pitch to Vince which SmackDown superstar you could easily replace. For example, Alistair, Baron, Otis, so on.
Alistair Black, I'd replace him. I've always wanted like a ton of tattoos, so it'd give me that opportunity to do that. My good motivation instead of me just showing up on camera one day like all tatted up. So it'd give me motivation to work out because, you know, obviously he's a little bit more fit than I am. And then I can do my Ice Cream Man. And then I would be like, hey, listen. You bring back Alistair as the Ice Cream Man. It's already been done. It was wildly successful on We Book Raw. Boom, it's done.
Done. I've replaced Otis. I can let myself go.
Oh, yeah. Be like, honey, I need to eat 10,000 calories every day.
And then she'd say, well, shouldn't you work out too? You're going to be a wrestler. Yeah.
No, I don't want to burn those calories. What's the point of putting
the only
them
working
on?
I'm doing is this.
Oh, yeah.
Beer in the mouth. Beer in the mouth.
There you go. David Matushek, do you think that WWE should do pre-show matches on SmackDown more often before WrestleMania? No, I don't. I think that we need strong go-home episodes to hype us up for WrestleMania.
That's typically not something WWE has been very good at doing. Mm-hmm. Night by night, your interview goes well, and the voice tells you that you've pleased the patrons. Remember, we're in a hole again. They are a volatile bunch, but as long as you remain here and continue to produce content, they will be pleased, it says. You ask why you are here, it declines to answer, saying only, you may want to get started on your SmackDown review. We have many questions prepared. Do you approach the review as normal, or do you act defiantly? Oh, man, I don't know if I'd act defiantly, but the whole situation would probably weird me out that I couldn't exactly focus on the task at hand.
Yeah, no, I would hold out. I would say, look, I am useless unless I am in my chair, my squeaky chair, which I know earlier tonight, like I moved one bit and it sounded more like a fart than a squeak.
Nice.
Yeah, but I didn't fart.
Although you do have a history of blaming your farts on other people.
I own now I own them. Back in the day, I would do that. Yeah, we all grow and learn as people, Larson. Poor Chris Polito. I wonder what he's doing these days. See if I can find him on Facebook. That was
There you go.
That was 35 years ago.
Yeah.
There's got to be a statute of limitations on blaming a fart on somebody else and having everybody in the school cafeteria believe you. Yeah, I would be defiant. I wouldn't do it. I'm holding out, man. I'm not doing it.
Wow. All right.
Solidarity, Larson. Solidarity.
I wouldn't want to do it by myself. Zoe Conrada power ranks Seth Rollins suits. Oh, that magenta one. Number 1. That magenta suit was amazing.
The magenta one. Was I not there that night? I have missed a couple Smackdowns. Which one was the magenta one?
It was magenta.
Well, yeah, okay. What day? When was that?
I don't know. It was on a Friday.
Find me a picture.
It's when he he didn't have a shirt on underneath. It's when he confronted Buddy Murphy.
That sounds familiar. I think I remember that one. I have a terrible memory.
Oh yeah, look at that, man.
Where'd you look? What'd you do? What'd you look up?
It's one on Google image search, man.
Magenta suit.
That's exactly what I searched. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow, look at that. Holy moly.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty great. It just disappeared now. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I think I might have missed that week, actually.
It's possible.
Yeah, I missed that week. It's been like 2 Smackdowns I missed.
Do you feel like you've missed anything?
That's good. I'm going to say... No, I'm going to say I'm going to say that first leather one, because it sort of gave us a peek into, okay, weird.
The direction he was heading.
Yeah.
It was like all leather. Shirt, tie.
All of it was leather.
Probably leather socks.
There was like 5 cows in that thing.
Quoth the Raven, can we have a moment to appreciate Kevin Owens' KO Mania 5 shirt? It looks great. It's really cool.
It is really nice. It is very good. Alex Foster, if NXT superstars get called up after TakeOver, what SmackDown superstars would you want to trade them for? Let's say that there's a trade. Adam Cole for Daniel Bryan.
Oh, I was going to say Kevin Owens for Karrion Kross. How about that?
Kevin Owens for Karrion Kross. That's a good one, too. I like that. That's good. You know, it'd be great if Sami Zayn went back to NXT. Say, this is where the conspiracy started. I won the championship, and then they bring in Kevin Owens, and he powerbombs me.
Mm-hmm. There's something there. Atwood, will TakeOver predictions be added to Mania points? No. We'll do those separately.
Different
But
thing.
like Mania, there'll be one. Everything will be put into one set of confidence points and predictions and such.
Mm-hmm. Hammond Serrano, according to you, who are the next superstars that most likely could get an inadvertent Daniel Bryan push now twice because of Vince's style of shove-it booking? I think I understand that question. So Vince really likes Daniel Bryan. Mm-hmm. Vince, and that's another reason why I'm like, oh boy, tonight was bad for Daniel Bryan, because like if it was storyline bad for him, man, Vince might have actually pulled the trigger on that, because Vince really likes Daniel Bryan.
He does.
Like, it would not shock me at all. It would not shock me. Well, I guess it would, kind of. I think that Vince is just super all in on Roman Reigns, because like The Rock is going to be there in 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
I think he's going all in on Roman, but he also knows that if you want the biggest reaction coming out of Mania, Daniel Bryan winning would blow the roof off that place. Mm-hmm. Like, blow the roof off with a big cloud of COVID.
Medium Beer says, can I get a belated birthday, John? Mr. Sinister with a sub says, where does the time go?
Tell me about it. JTV08 says, what conspiracy theory moments would Steven Larson's documentary show? WrestleMania weekend 2017. I'm sitting on the couch in our rental, and I open up our YouTube Studio app to look at what our revenue was for the video that did for our WrestleMania predictions that performed exceedingly well. And I looked at the revenue and it was like hundreds of dollars less than it would usually be because revenue was off the charts back then. And right when we get to WrestleMania, Adpocalypse happens and the revenue just craters. Couldn't wait 2 weeks. It couldn't wait 2 weeks to let us get that sweet, sweet WrestleMania money.
Nope.
So that's the I'd look into the Adpocalypse for my conspiracy, man.
All right, I can't really top that.
I'll never forget. That's one of those moments. It's a core memory, man. Sitting there
on that couch, we're like, what? This doesn't make sense.
We're like, how are we gonna get home now?
We're gonna have to hitchhike. White Brownie, should WWE treat the Raw and SmackDown after Mania as season premieres? Yes, that's when they should have.
Yes.
That's when they should have the draft.
That's when they should have that's exactly. You're right. Absolutely. Christopher Rappert. I'm not gonna read this one, Chris. He was just saying that I noticed this too. I won't frame this the way he's framing it. But when Corey Graves goes overboard for Carmella and he starts saying, "Oh my God, oh my God," he likens it to Jerry Lawler back during the Attitude Era.
Oh,
which is I'm not going to say it's as much, but it's getting there.
It is too much.
It's a bit much. Yeah, it's
too much.
Night by Night says I find that kind of wholesome though because he's with Mella. And he doesn't do that for anybody else.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's totally true. So, I mean, that is a good point.
It is a point, and I consider that when he's going on and on, especially tonight. But it's too much.
They seem like a lovely couple, though. They seem like they're happy together and everything. You know?
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, I guess, I don't know.
Medium Beer, if you guys could pick one NXT roster member to debut at Mania, who would it be? Goes without saying Steve would pick Karrion Kross.
If I had to pick what? I'm sorry, what?
One NXT superstar to debut at Mania.
It'd be Io. It'd actually be Io Shirai.
That's a good answer.
It'd be Io.
I'm going to say Adam Cole at the end of the main event night 2. He goes to the ring and super kicks everybody, and Kevin Owens runs out as if to confront him.
Yeah,
they're a team again.
I love it. That's great. Mount Rushmore wrestling.
You got that right.
Oh, that'd be great. Let's see here. Moses opposes. Vince decides that the Andre the Giant Battle Royal trophy now becomes a golden ticket to move to NXT. Who would you choose to win? Out of the participants that are already listed. Allow me to...
Dijak.
Yeah, that's yeah. There you go. Hold on, I'm trying to bring up the notes for that. Let's see who's in this thing and who would win. Wrong notes. You can read a different question now.
All right, very well. Dang MQ, are Rollins suits like the new Baszler trunks, like when we had blue Baszler, gray Baszler, red Baszler?
Well, the problem is he doesn't fight in them.
Exactly.
So it's hard to power.
We don't know the power that's imbued in those suits because he doesn't fight in them.
Oh, it'd be Cedric Alexander, and he would take his Prime Alexander thing to NXT.
Gotcha. Hip Hop Hippo, is it possible people end up booing Lashley if he loses because people are salty about losing the Hurt Business, or am I just projecting? WWE hasn't had crowds in a year. Hard to know how people will react.
I don't think anybody would boo People usually don't boo. Like, I know with Roman, they would boo him because they hated the creative direction of Roman. But I don't know how many people there are actually going to be keeping up with that kind of stuff. I don't know. I feel like they're just going to boo who they want to boo, not based off of like behind the scenes stuff. Roman is different though.
Yeah, Adrian C. Did you see Andrade put pen to paper on Instagram? Thoughts on where he's going? It was a blank piece of paper. It looked like
it was a blank piece. I think the idea was he was going to do his bucket list.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
like what Cody did. Yeah, that's what I gathered too.
I didn't take that as like a contract in invisible ink. Let's see here. Cameron Grimes, financial advisor. Does Daniel Bryan standing tall tonight confirm he won't be winning at Mania? Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm. Exactly right. All right, that's everything I've got here on the Patreon. You want one more from Twitch?
Sure. Done with Pete Dunn just says Lashley is cool. People cheer for cool things.
That's a very good point. He is very cool.
Yeah,
People do cheer for cool things.
That they do. He's got lightning in his entrance. How can you not cheer for that?
It's pretty cool. All right. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.